Okay. Number 9, where we're talking about vSphere application and backup. What are the way of performing the backup of the environment? And the vSphere application is primarily used for protecting your VMs between two different data centers, two different vSphere data centers. All right, so we'll talk about vSphere application architecture, deploy configure vSphere application, recover the replicated VMs, and explain the backup and restore for the solutions VM and benefits of vSphere storage API for the data protection. So when we say VMware vSphere application, it means that we are replicating the virtual machines somewhere on different location in different VMware data center. Okay. And it provides me the hypervisor based VM replication and recovery. When we say the hypervisor based, like from one side ESXi to another side ESXi, and all my data is travel over the network. When I say over the network, like this, so we could say here, this is my this is my data center 1 and this is my vSphere data center 2. Okay, so this will happen across the data centers. All right, and if in case any disaster happen on data center 1, then we can invoke the failure or invoke the recovery on data center 2, and VM get started on data center 2. But yeah, definitely there is a downtime. It's not a kind of emotion or something. It says standby VM, standby, standby, standby. But yes, when it will go crash, this DC code crash, then they will start. So for that, what we need to do, we have to install vSphere application as an appliance between primary and secondary sites, then integrate with the vSphere platform and include it, and then start the replication between primary and secondary sites. So the architecture is more in details look like that. So a vSphere application appliance will deploy as an appliance, and that would be integrated with your vCenter server, and it will just, with the help of vCenter server, it will keep on replicating your virtual machine between primary data center to secondary data center. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? Okay, so moving ahead, it is simply like when we do it's a kind of again an appliance that we have to deploy on both the sides, primary and secondary sites. Then we can replicate the virtual machines between primary site to secondary site. Okay, so for each and every virtual machine section, we will see configure application. So configure application means is you are triggering the replication of the virtual machines, and a standby VM will get created onto the target side. So while we are configuring the application for any virtual machine, we can define the recovery point objective. So recovery point objective, the minimum time is 5 minutes and the maximum time is 24 minutes. So recovery point objective meaning is like, for example, if my VM, now I between two data centers, I have starting the replication of my VM. This is my primary VM. This is my secondary VM. So recovery point objective define that after how much time the delta changes will sync to the secondary VM. For example, if I will set it 15 minutes, 15 minutes. So it means that, like, for example, on 10:30, for application was happen, then whatever I have done for next 15 minutes, it means the next replication will happen at 10:45. Again, the next application will happen at 11. So because I have defined the time of 15 minutes, 15. So it's all depend upon my bandwidth and availability. It will keep on doing that. So retain the replicated snapshot to the target side. How much you want? You want keep 3 instance per day, and for last like for 5 days total 15. So it means that how many snapshots it's giving, like every time when you ever restore, it will create a kind of recovery point here. So how much the numbers we want, that's all depend upon these numeric numbers, how much we have selected. So in case of any disaster will happen here, then on target, I can recover on that particular point. Normally people keep as on latest, the last application was happened. Okay. So due to this 15-minute RPO, we can expect my 15 minutes, last 15-minute data can be lost. Okay. Maybe for example, I have triggered the last application in 10.30, and this disaster will happen 10:14. It means that, sorry, 10:40, 10:40. So it means that the next application is not happened so far. So it means that I have the possibility of last 10 minutes data loss. Okay. So this is what is my RPO being defined. So that all setting we have to perform on the particular VM level where we are enabling the replication. So it's telling you if we finally do it, power on virtual machine after recovery, it means that if a failure will happen on target side, the VM will trigger at power on. But yeah, definitely there would be a power cycle. It's not a keep power on state. The failure will be detected on primary side, and the secondary side will start the VM. Then we have backup and restore solution. So backup and restore solution means is somewhere we are putting our data backup solution, and that data backup solution is kind of my appliance that's going to be deployed in a virtual form, and it's keeping my virtual machines somewhere on some target storage. Okay. So there could be two level backup. One is image level. When we say image level backup, it means that this complete VM image have been backed up. And second is my file level backup. So when we say file level backup, it means that it's only taking the backup of configuration. For example, this is a file server, or maybe this is a exchange server, maybe this is a DB server. So it's not taking the backup for entire VM, it's taking only the configuration backup. So normally when we say what best practice we follow, like for example, backup image level we can configure on kind of weekly basis, and the file level backup we can configure probably on daily basis. Okay, so on weekly basis it will take the entire image, and on daily basis it will take the delta changes will happen inside particular application. The changes, the detailed delta changes and whatever configuration we have done, that all being covered on the file level backup. All right, we good so far? Yes, no, any answer? All right, so this is again an example, my backup server that will put as a data domain. So anyway, this whole responsibility of your backup team, you don't need to be worried about that. All right, only the thing we prefer whenever we configure the VMs, just we should have sufficient bandwidth on our vSphere. End of the day, this backup is going to the target device through my ESXi host. Okay, so my ESXi host should have the uh, see, this is my ESXi host and my backup server. Direct or indirect way, these are connected to physical switch. Okay, so end of the day, my data traffic phone physically is traveling to my physical fabric. So we should have sufficient bandwidth available for managing the backup traffic. And also we configure a separate backup NIC. A NIC is dedicated to my backup traffic, a separate network, a separate subnet. It could be any, just for an example, 10.0.2.0, my backup server, so that this backup topology can communicate with each other, and my backup should happen onto the Backup servers. Backup server, nothing, just have an operating system which is able to manage the backup and restore that. In backend backup, we definitely require some storage where my backup is being stored. All right. So being an vSphere administrator, what you need to configure, you need to be worried about that we have sufficient bandwidth have been defined for the backup, and also we have configured the NIC for the backup purpose. Okay. Yes, no, we good so far.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes, sir.
this is a feature of vSphere, inbuilt feature for taking the backup of VMs, right? We are not using any external like backup
No, no,
solution.
no. This is for external backup. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
vSphere does not have any feature of taking backups and all. We use the separate backup solution from the different vendor. Okay. It could be EMC Avamar. It could be from NetApp. So these are the different
Break.
companies who are providing the, not only this, there is too many, Hitachi, EMC, NetApp. Primarily the company who which provide the storage, they have the backup solution along with them. Okay. Rubrik, EMC, NetApp, Avamar, HP. So these are Dell Data Protection. So these are the different vendors who are providing the backup solutions. Okay. Yeah. Good.
Okay. Okay.
So vSphere API for data protection. So it is nothing. So my target backup solution should support the vSphere application programming user interface so that they can identify, they can talk to my vSphere environment, and we can easily my backup solution can easily identify the vSphere environment and can take the backup on the target location. All right. So there is two way has been defining in this environment for protecting the environment. One is vSphere application, where we perform the vSphere application across two different data centers to protecting our backup. Sorry, to protecting our VMs directly. Or second solution, we have the backup and restore. Local. In this case, you don't need any secondary data center. Like you are taking the backup, and if in case some minor thing happen or something, so as per best practice, people do like, this is for example, my primary data center. So they perform backup as well as they make a DR site also. When we say DR site, just replicate all the VMs to secondary sites, all their complicated applications. So customer are using combination of both, back up the data and also just make a DR site. We'll see the disaster recovery site, apply some solution which are replicating my environment, which are replicating my VMs from primary data center to secondary data center. It could be VMware replication. It is SRM. SRM is nothing, just a vast form of vSphere application, because with vSphere application, we have some limitation. You can protect 100 VMs and all. Its license have limitation. So on the vast side of it, people use the site recovery manager. Okay. And some third-party solutions are available in the market, kind of Zerto or Plate Spin. So these are the third-party solutions which can do the same task in your environment for replicating your data and also protecting your data from the failure. All right. We good so far? Yes, no? So here we finish our module that is respective to virtual machine management. All right. Now, as a next module, for that, I'm just stopping the recording one time and I will start recording again because that module 7 will be finishing there. Okay.